Okay, so is it just me, or is this the third time Suge Knight has been alive for you as well? Or I should rephrase that. Did you ever think that Suge Knight had died 2 times before this? And were you shocked when you saw him again in the news to find out that he is still alive? This is what's going on right now. And this, of course, is not a still of Suge Knight. I just happen to be watching the Golden Girls because the world is just too crazy right now and things are too serious, so I need to do something to cheer myself up. And also, B. Arthur always reminds me of Suge Knight anyway. Don't ask me why. No, I'm just kidding. But it was so weird because I saw him in the news the other day. Just being interviewed, not even being interviewed, he was in court again, and I was like, really? Because honestly, the first time I remember ever hearing of Suge Knight, and you got to admit, it's a unique name, so you're not really going to confuse him with anyone else, but the first time I ever heard of Suge Knight was back when Biggie Smalls had died, or Notorious B.I.G. And I swear I remember hearing on the news that Suge Knight had died at the same time as Biggie Smalls. Like, it's in the crossfire, they both died. But then when you think of how big and powerful Suge Knight is, even if he had killed him, and I guess in this reality it was a speculation, he probably would have sent somebody else to do his work. So, but that was the first time, I swear to God, I remember Suge Knight dying in that. And then, come to find out, like 2 years ago, I heard that Suge Knight was on his last legs and he was dying in prison, and he was on the witness stand for something for a court case then, and I remember him looking really thin, and I know it was Suge Knight because I said to myself when I saw him, and again, the unique name, no, wait, I thought he died in the crossfire of the death of Biggie Smalls. So, essentially, I thought he died then, and I thought he was on death's door, and then now he's back in the news again. Not only that, Suge Knight's son came out with a story a few days ago discussing Tupac and how he was still alive in Malaysia. I mean, I don't know. A lot of times I think these celebrities watch YouTube because YouTube is getting bigger than anything else, or just as big as anything else, and they do things to egg YouTube video makers along. I mean, nobody knows what's real anymore. That's just the problem. Fake news, real news, in-between news. So, but it's still like a really, really, really weird parallel. And the funny thing was that I knew these two people. I met them on an independent movie set. And they actually met Suge Knight at a party. Or no, it was a party, it was a club one night. And they didn't know it was Suge Knight until maybe like about a few minutes into the ride with him, but he was like, hey, yeah, I need a ride. And so, and this is why, you think, well, he could have henchmen, but he should have had a lot of things, because he got in the car with these people and they started driving. He was like, yeah, I'm hungry. I want some McDonald's. So they stopped at McDonald's, and turns out this dude didn't even have any money, and it was Suge Knight. And they were like, Suge Knight made us pay for his McDonald's. Not sure if it was McDonald's or McDonald's, but it was such a dorky story. So anyway, they paid for Suge Knight's dinner, I guess. But again, who knows if it was McDonald's or McDonald's. Oh my gosh. This guy who's supposed to be working this wedding in this episode looks possessed. I got him at the exact moment where his eye went all white. But don't even get me started about celebrities and how they look at parties and the whites of their eyes. Because I think I told you in one of my last videos that I was at this celebrity party. I'll repeat it again in case some people didn't watch that video, but I was at the celebrity party and 2 famous TV moms were there, and they were, elderly, and one had really, really teeny tiny pupils, and it wasn't a well-lit room. It was in, shaded, which that could be a medical condition, but in any case, she had very small pupils, and the other lady had no pupils at all. Like, I couldn't find her pupils. It was the weirdest thing. Okay. So, looks not unlike this guy. But, and this is the part where he goes over to B. Arthur. She's trying to stop her mom from getting married, and he walks up to her and he goes, hey now, Stretch. Just a minute, Stretch. Such a funny nickname, Stretch. Shorty and Stretch. That's what I tell everybody to call me with half the boyfriends I had. Not that I've had a lot of boyfriends, but like before, especially in high school when I had a lot of boyfriends, it'd be like, call me Shorty, he's Stretch, because they're always so much taller than I am. Anyway, getting back on topic. So, celebrities, not celebrities who are still alive, but that Lindsay Lohan was freaky if you guys saw that. She just started, she approached this homeless couple and she started speaking to them in like Arabic and saying that their kids were being trafficked and she wanted to take them back to her hotel room, and then the mother punched her, which, I mean, she was being really aggressive, but it just never ceases to amaze me because they said she spoke really good Arabic. And it just kind of made me harken back to an experience that I had in my life, like when you talk about celebrity accents and stuff like that. But before I address that, I want to talk about Madonna too, because she's got this new, I guess she's got this new cologne, and she narrated this commercial for it, and she sounds so pretentious. She's just like, oh, and I found this clay in the bottom of a volcano, and I mixed it with, and I mixed it with rat blood, and here is your new beauty product. So she's got this new beauty product thing. And her voice, like, Madonna's always having different sounding accents, but that sounded really weird. Like, she just sounded so, I mean, she sounded half British, but half American, and like half old movie actors, and it was just so creepy sounding, just the way it sounded, like, again, like it was an altered personality. But the freakiest thing was, I worked on the movie Clueless. Like, I was just, you know, I had a really small role that was eventually cut, but Brittany Murphy was in it, and I was in the scene with the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones in this big museum downtown. And so Brittany Murphy was in it, and she was just starting out in the business, and she was kind of voluptuous, not, you know, not in a fat kind of way, because, you know, you can never, they barely hardly ever let fat girls in Hollywood films. But anyway, that's another story for another time. But we all know that anyway, so it's not really a story. But she was in the movie, and she was so nice to everyone. Like, I didn't really bother her because I had been told, of course, by my agent, it's not professional. But she was friends with like every girl on the set, and they would all come up running to her and hugging her and stuff like that. And she just looked to be a normal body weight. And then, of course, you saw what happened to her. She married Ashton Kutcher. She got real anorexic. And the last interview I ever saw with her was, I think, Craig Ferguson. And she had like a full-on British accent. And it wasn't a very good British accent. Like, it was a pretty bad British accent. So obviously it wasn't her real accent. And nobody said anything to her. Craig Ferguson did not joke about it. And that was the last interview in which I saw her before she died. So, I don't know. It was just really weird. And it's just something that no one ever really talks about. And of course, her death was weird too. But anyway, I just thought that I would talk about those things and see if anybody else remembers Tupac. I mean, not Tupac. Biggie Smalls still being alive. All right, or dying. Okay, bye.